Hello there. My name is Sheryl Vetsch, and I am very excited today to be interviewing my mentor, Robert Hollis. He is a best-selling author of the book How Is That Working? And he's helped 45 people make $1 million incomes. He has helped tens of thousands just have a better life. You cannot He's got the biggest heart. You just cannot help but be touched by having him in your life. I know for me, since I've been following him, I've always had kind of low self-confidence, but I have totally been able to feel my self-confidence increasing. My husband has noticed, so I am just thrilled to be sitting here with you today. Thanks, Robert.
Well, thank you very much, Cheryl. And I know one thing for a fact is we got to know each other a little bit before this interview, and I'm so blessed to have you as a partner and a friend of mine. And doing stuff that is uncomfortable, especially in being an entrepreneuress, is difficult. And I just really appreciate you stepping out there and having the courage and the bravery to do this. And I'm looking forward to this interview. This will be fun.
All right. I think I'll start with, I've only kind of been introduced to you in the last maybe 6-8 months, and immediately one of the things is your personality. You're just such a bubbly, fun, outgoing person. I was just curious, is that have you always been that way, or?
No. And what's really amazing about that is sometimes what I say, Cheryl, and people will laugh when I'll say this, is I want you to think of a person that you know that's an auto mechanic. And usually auto mechanics are pretty introverted because they're not only laborers, but they're very analytical. You got to be very analytical, sort of like I don't know, like maybe a computer programmer or someone like that, an accountant. And so my personality, I was very introverted. I really looked at people as being stupid. You know what I mean? I knew how to work on cars and they didn't. So I was going like, how can people be this dumb? And then the other thing is sort of had a chip on my shoulder from my upbringing. So I always had this victim mentality. So I was very closed off, so had this chip on my shoulder, sort of bad attitude kind of guy, and had like 3 friends that were also auto mechanics. So, when people look at me, my son and I was always saying we're going to do this, and I believe we will one day, but I'd love to be able to go back to my home city of Williston, North Dakota, and interview people and say, hey, tell me a little bit about Bobby Hollis. And I can guarantee you that the words that people would say, people would be going, this has got to be a totally different guy. So the whole concept that that a leopard can't change his spots, or this is who you are, or I'm a sequential concrete thinker and that's just the way I am. That's you just not believing that you can change, and I've changed every spot on me. So, and I'm still working on it. I'm still dealing with self-confidence and self-belief issues and worthiness issues because I keep stepping up my game. You know what I mean? So at one time I thought that I was worth $30,000 a year. Another time I thought that maybe 6 figures could be possible for me. Then, now it's like, am I really worth 10 million?
Right.
10 million a year. So I just keep, am I CEO material now that I own my own company? Do I have the leadership skills? So, thank God that never goes away. I mean, honestly, if you keep stepping into a different realm, you got to go through it all over again. So great question, really good question.
Thanks. So who can be an entrepreneur, marketer, and what does it take to become one?
Well, I truly believe there's a lot of things in life, Cheryl, that deal with physical ability, and then there's other things that deal with mental ability. And so that question, when someone says that to me, of course, me being an entrepreneur now, I say everybody. So I'll give you a neat example is if, you look at your three children or yourself or your husband or people that you know. If I said to you, if a person wanted to learn a new language, do you think they could? And it's like, well, of course, you make a
Mhm.
decision, you find a mentor or a coach, you learn and you practice, and there you go. So being an entrepreneur more than anything, Cheryl, is a mindset. It's really, and it's, I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not, because
Mhm.
you become who you hang around. So if your whole mentality is what I call coin operated, a W-2 mentality, and mainly like a consumer. You're always a consumer mentality. Now to get on this other side, that's why people say, well, money doesn't buy happiness. We know that neither does poverty. We also know that people say, well, you got to be smart. Um, you know, uh, um, you got to have money to make money. All these things that, pardon my language, broke people say.
Mhm. Right.
and and so if 99% of the people are not making what the 1% of the people are, we sort of believe that we can't be this entrepreneur. But prior to you and I getting on this, I said to you, if a young girl came up to you and she was newly married and found out they were pregnant and going to have a child, if she said to you, well, listen, Cheryl, I don't know, do you think that everyone can be a mom? Now, coming from someone that's a mother, what would be your answer?
Yeah.
Absolutely, no
Right.
problem.
Hmm.
I, I know it's tough, I know it's scary, but I can show you how to do it. And
Right.
and guess what? There's a lot of successful mothers out there, thank God.
Right.
so, and so,
Yeah.
running into someone that was running like a pizzeria or saying that there was a lady that was running like a little boutique or whatever, if you ask them, how did you become successful? Just like, Shark Tank, the women that are on Shark Tank, they go, no problem. I'll show you how to do it. It's no big deal. And it's like everybody else is like, it's scary.
Right. Definitely. Um, so what makes some people, everybody can always use extra money, it seems like, for or to have things they want in life. What makes some people go for that and some people say, no, that's not for me?
I would say 1,000% two things. One, the biggest one, believe it or not, is fear.
Hmm.
It's false emotion or false evidence appearing real. If I step out there and I don't do it, then I get to show the world, my husband, my children, my family, I get to show them that I can't do this. So whenever we step into something, we're very quiet about it. We're really secret about it. It'd be like all of a sudden if you decided that you and your husband were going to take dancing lessons, well, nothing worse than taking dancing lessons and someone telling you, hey, listen, you don't have any rhythm. You're not going to be a dancer. And it's like, but that really rarely happens. I apologize for that. I don't know why that even did that. Let me. I apologize.
I
Uh,
didn't even hear anything.
I normally have to shut that off. There we go. So someone trying to call me on Skype.
Oh.
And so one of the things is too is that it's the mentality again that the other one is just timing. So you're scared.
Mhm.
Most people won't admit that they're usually scared to do something. And then the second one is all about timing. Sometimes we're in really good places in our life where we're just comfortable, everything's going okay, and people love it. I'm even that way. I love being in that place where it seems like everything is just, not choppy water. Everything is just everything is going along.
Yeah.
And so we usually don't want to try to do too much change while things are comfortable. Another one is sometimes people don't realize it, but they're people pleasers. So they don't realize that they don't even know who they are. They're so busy living what other people say, Cheryl, this is what you should do, this is the way you should act, this is what you should be doing. And sometimes they're so people pleasers that when we try to step out and try to do something for us, we realize that that's not what we want to do. because
Mm-hmm.
we're always worried about what other people will think. And you'll find out that very successful people surround themselves by supportive people that say, go for it, Sheryl. It's not everybody like, hey, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you stop being a dreamer? That's for other people. That's not for you. So they buy into hearing other people say that. So that would be my two biggest ones with that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, and that for me too, that community part is like it's huge for, yeah, keeping you going. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that I will get there get there before I would ever quit. So
Well, some of the things that is humbling for me is now that our people are really plugging into the community that Unlimited Profits is. I've actually had some testimonials now, which humbles me. And I mean this, is some people are saying that they love the community of people that we have that are all working together and becoming successful, even sometimes more than the mentorship.
uh-huh.
Because when you're hanging around that, so me, I like mindset, and learning how to think versus what to do and how to do it is important. But when there's a whole group of women that are in our company that are all top producers and they're all networking with each other, that's powerful. That's very, very powerful. So when they're adding new people to the group, and we had 2 new diamonds that went today, Mary Ellen and her daughter, Valerie. And so as soon as they get launched into the program, you see everybody just like welcome them, and they get added to the diamond groups, and so it's really, really powerful when you got a bunch of group of people that are going, so you don't feel like a lone ranger.
Yeah. Let's see. How about what what is one piece of advice I could tell my kids that so they have that mindset, know that they could do anything they want in life?
The one thing that you can continue to do with your children is introduce them to documentaries, biographies, and also YouTube videos out there that show young people doing anything. If you really notice children that become incredible athletes or singers or actors or whatever, working to go, Olympics or whatever, it's always from a spark of a young person saying, "Ah, Mom, that's what I would like to do." And so I think what a lot of parents sometimes get upset is that, they might get that small little spark and say, "I want to learn how to play guitar," and then all of a sudden they don't want to. And it's like, it's so that you got to allow them, because some parents are like, well, listen, how many things are you going to try and quit? I would be just the opposite. I would let them try as many things as they wanted until they said, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? So
Yep.
Constantly be conscious of introducing your sons and your daughters to young people that are doing something, anything. It doesn't have to be a sport. If you put in young entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? There's like even associations and stuff with them. And so that's what I do. The other thing is going to sound like a lot of pressure on you, but it really isn't, is all my children are entrepreneurs because that's just what I was. So they always got to go to the events with me. They always got to see other people becoming entrepreneurs. Even my new daughter-in-law, Hannah, she watched me speak at the GoPro event last November. And, here she is, 19 years old, and she's like, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a person that speaks on stage. And I shared with her, you get documented, and people are going to want to watch you speak. And, and it's like, so, it's pretty amazing when you can get around that. So that's what I would suggest.
Cool. That's neat. Explain the importance of the role that your faith has played in your life.
Everything.
Right.
I think it's pretty interesting. You know, Easter's coming up, and you know, there's even on the today, you know, I get up and have my cup of coffee, and it's pretty amazing that, you know, now they're even saying that science is sort of backing, looking at minds of people that have faith versus those that don't. And it's amazing that they're now seeing and mapping that, you know, 60% of people that have a faith-based belief, you know, and believe in a higher power that could possibly help them, you know, are less depressed. 60% of them are less depressed. They're happier. Things seem to go right for them. And so I think that's so incredible that, you know, science is backing a spiritual mentality, which
Yeah,
is,
I know. Yeah.
yeah, for me, it was really, really simple because of my childhood being so awful. You know, I got introduced to God and Jesus, and that then became my foundation. I wasn't alone anymore. And
Mhm.
so I've always felt like I say things that people sometimes, I know I'm not a biblical scholar in any way, shape, or form, but you know, I read the promises in the New Testament and I believe them. I 100% believe them. I believe they're for me now. And so when I share those with other people, I know that the thing I'm creating right now, that I will find the people at the right time that I can introduce to the information that my mentors shared with me over 27 years, and it will change them. It will change the way they think, and it will change them to empower them to know that, hey, you know what? I can do it too. I was created to be, you know, I say one statement and a lot of people immediately sometimes get offended. And I said, you know what? If a thought of being a Christian is something that you could model, then I want to be the person that they're looking toward.
Mhm.
See, I'm not even close to what Jesus did while he was on this planet, but the whole thing is what would Jesus do? So my thing is you'll know my people by their fruit. So I'm going to do my best while I'm on this planet to leave an example that if you just are happy and you're passionate and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're helping people, you know, that things will be okay for you. They'll be more
Mhm.
than okay for you. You'll live a heaven on earth.
All right.
You know? So pretty cool.
Cool. All right. Um, what would Robert today tell Robert 20, 30 years ago um, about life or
Dream bigger, and work harder.
cool.
Yeah, it's if I could go back and look at myself, um, I would say dream bigger. I probably would say to you know, seek out mentors faster. Um, you know, there's this weird thing that we become who we hang around. So a lot of people don't ask for help, and a lot of people don't seek out people that have already done it. You look at Tony Robbins, which is worth over $500 million,
Yes.
and he'll tell everybody. He'll say, "Listen, you know, people will say, well, give me the secret to your success," and he says, "Step one, find out what you want." Most people don't get anything in life because they don't know what they want. Once you find out what you want, then find someone who has it and do what they do. It's like, you know, everybody wants this to be so complicated.
I
It,
know. It's
it,
uh, this is yeah, that's just simple as can be. So
it really is. I think spirituality too is extremely simple. If you want a great relationship with your creator, then you got to spend time with your creator.
hmm
You just got to. So people going, ah, oh, my life's a mess, and you know, I don't feel like God's talking to me, or I don't think that Jesus is leading me, and I'm like, well, how much time do you spend with, you know, in prayer and in meditation about that on a weekly basis? I don't have time for that. That's pretty stupid. It's like, yeah, but hey, a lot of people do, yeah.
hmm why did you decide to start up the unlimited profits?
It was basically I knew that I know that me spending personal time with people gets them to do two things. One, it gets them to realize that they don't know everything they need to be successful, because I just really push so hard with myself that I can give them things that make them pop, you know. So my training is they go, oh, I never thought of that. Wow, that makes so much sense. And if it resonates with you, you know what I mean, then you know. So I knew that when technology came out, that I had to push myself and really get as much as me as I could on video. You know, so now people are watching technology move so fast. We're doing a Google Hangout. You know what I mean? I'm in Montana, Cheryl's in Minnesota, and it's like, you know, we're doing a Google Hangout that will end up on, you know, YouTube for free. I'll be able to download that and send a copy of that to Sheryl where she can put it on her own YouTube channel. And now all Sheryl needs to do is get over 2,000 people to watch this video, and she won't have to worry about money for her family anymore. And so technology is incredible. So I use that technology, Sheryl, to build my group within my company. And then 3 years ago, I sort of got pushed out a little bit by friends, Eric Worre, and you know, and they're saying, like, why don't you just teach a generic side of what you do so you could help everyone? And I thought, wow, I never even thought about that. Why don't I? So it's now we got over 160,000 free members all over the world, and over, I think, 15 or 17,000 now paid members. I'm like flipping out, honestly, and it's growing so fast. And so it's fun for people that are really getting this, like Melody and Molly and you know, Scott and Hindra, and they're doing Google Hangouts all over the world. Like, you know, what Molly does now is, and Scott is, they'll say, well, listen, you know, today I was in Italy, Sweden, you know, South Africa, you know, Singapore, and it's like, wow, I never ever, you know, dreamt of this, because if I could, it would be pretty wild. So that's what my deal is I know that I can get my information to people like you as quick as I possibly can. If they continue to go through it, they will see change. There's no doubt. You just get exposed to different ideas that resonate and make sense to you, and that's what's cool. That's what's really, really cool. So your husband, you know, how do you put a price on your husband saying that he sees a difference in you?
Yeah, there isn't one.
None.
Nope.
I got chills.
Yeah, I know. And I know those pops, you call them. I have them. Yeah, I get them all the time. And every Thursday when I watch your mentorship training, I swear you're talking right to me. It's like it just hit exactly what I need to hear. It seems like so.
Well, thank you, Sheryl. That's why I do what I do, right there.
Let's see. I think I was gonna look over here quick, make sure I didn't. I think I have.
Yeah, I thought that was a great interview.
I think I've hit all my questions there. I kind of jumped around, so I got to look them over quick.
No problem at all.
Is there anything else you just want to add, or?
Well, I just want to share with everyone that, you know, all that happened to me is I became very open-minded because I got hurt on the job. And so when I had doctors tell me that I couldn't be a mechanic anymore to take care of my family, it allowed me to think about what else I could do. When I did that, I met mentors. And what Unlimited Profits is all about is, I just ask you somewhere around here, you know, Cheryl's not only a friend of mine, but, you know, also a partner in Unlimited Profits, is allow her to be your tour guide. Allow her to go through and point, guide, and direct you to the right videos and the audios that we have back there, just so you can see who we are. We have 200 hours of free training. So, you know, Sheryl can just send you that link. And if there's something where you feel like you just don't want to, you know, take that, you know, just put in an email address and check it out. I'm going to send Sheryl one of the books that actually changed my life forever. And it's a book called Science of Getting Rich. It's the free ebook along with the audios. And I'll send her that link. And if you just want to see the book that my mentor shared with me that altered and changed everything I thought about, just ask her for it. She can send it to you free. And just know that me and her are working together. If the stuff does resonate with you, we have a mentorship program that we put together. We have over 50 hours now. I was back there counting it. 50 hours plus we do live stuff plus interviews like we're doing with Sheryl now. So we're here to help you. And it'll work for everything. I mean, it works for relationships. It works for any business whatsoever. It would even help you be another better employee. You know what I mean? So we all need to learn to grow. And why we stop at college or why we stop at high school and then go out and don't continue learning is beyond me. So I know that if you know more, you can be more and you can have more. So Sheryl, I just thank you very, very much for taking the time to do this interview with me, and I'm looking forward to helping you be that example you want to be for your children. That's going to be fun.
Thank you so much. It was a extreme pleasure today. Thanks so much.
You bet. Well, God bless and talk to you soon.
God bless.